In this video, I'm going to share exactly how I got my very first wholesale deal. Now, when I first started wholesaling, I had no idea what to do. Really, all I knew was my background, which was sales and marketing. So I've always done sales, since I was 18 legally, and even before that, not so legally. But yeah, I've always loved it. Sales has always been a passion for me. So when I found out about wholesaling, I went all in because real estate is always something I wanted to get into. And how I found out about wholesaling was actually reading a Bigger Pockets book. I think it was called How to Get Deals with No to Low Money Down. And I read that title, it was super catchy, and I said, hey, I gotta grab this book. And there was a tiny paragraph in there that talked about how to wholesale. And it really didn't mention what wholesaling was, it just said it's a strategy you can use, and you can, basically you just do the marketing and sales. So I heard about that, I said, hey, marketing sales, I can do that. So I dove all in. Then I actually did some research, did Google, hopped down the YouTube rabbit hole a bit, and I actually came across a course from a guy, Brett Daniels, bought his course, it was a couple $100, and then just went all in. I remember having that thought in the back of my head, like, hey, should I invest this money? Is this wholesaling thing, is it legit? Is it real? I mean, it seems like too good to be true. So, and I did it anyways. I thought, hey, that's just my little bitch voice. That's that hater voice telling me to, not take action. And every time I've ignored that voice, told it to shut up and took action, it's paid off for me. So I took action, bought the course, went all in, banged it out in like a weekend, and then immediately started taking action. And doing that, I learned a lot. So I learned what worked, I learned what didn't work, and I just played dumb, acted like I knew nothing, and just did exactly what the course told me to do. And it took me, I think it took about a little over 30, like 45 days to actually get my first deal. So we're going to talk about that one, and then we'll talk about the next one because they kind of go together. So the first deal, so what I did, my wife, Bree, and I, we were driving for dollars. We were basically, if you don't know what driving for dollars is, you're literally getting in your car, you're driving around, and you're looking for houses that look beat up, distressed, that have some wear and tear, and that kind of stick out from the other houses in the neighborhood. So we did that every day. We do it for an hour or two, and then on Saturday we do it for like a good 4 hours, which is cool for us because we were new to the area in San Antonio. We just moved here, and it was cool because we kind of found out where to go and where not to go in San Antonio, because San Antonio's got some sketchy hood spots. But yeah, we did that. We just kept doing it. We kept doing it. Wasn't getting anywhere. I was calling people. I was doing cold calls every day, smashing the phones because that's what they said to do in the course. And so I was smashing the phones, wasn't getting anything. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to throw some money at mailers because everybody talks about mailers. So I bought some mailers as well, started to do that, kept doing the cold calls in the meantime. And the good thing was I was actually talking to sellers. So looking back, knowing what I know now, I probably could have got some deals a lot sooner. So I'm doing the work every day. I'm putting in the work. I'm making the calls. I'm starting to send mailers. I'm starting to do cold SMS texts. And yeah, I was getting some responses, and a lot of them, I was doing the same list everyone says to do. And like prop stream in San Antonio is so competitive, those lists were beat. So I was getting people every day that were telling me, hey, why are you calling me? I'm getting called 5-10 times a day. Like, stop fucking calling me, take me off the list. You're harassing me, and just getting beat up. And I've done phone sales forever, and it was a shock because I thought I got beat up on the phones, but I got beat up real bad when I first started doing those prop streams lists here in San Antonio. So I'm doing the work, and then finally off one of the texts, I get like a positive one that said, hey, I do want to sell. And I lit up and I said, okay, great, bet. I set up the appointment. I went and looked at the guy's house and found out he was a distressed seller. He already moved. The house was there vacant. It was getting beat up. There were cockroaches. It was gross, and but it was in a decent part of town. It was more up and coming, and it was a desirable house. And he was willing to take an L and take a loss on the property just to be done with it, because he didn't want his credit anymore because he was renting it in the place he moved in New Braunfels, and he just wanted to get rid of it. So we were able to work out a deal, and the numbers weren't great on this deal looking back. I think I just lucked out because the market was so hot at that time. It was a year and a half ago. So it was post-COVID, just when the market was going crazy. So I lucked out. That saved my ass. I was able to wholesale it. It was a whole bunch of work. So we got a contract. I had to follow up with them a few times. Eventually I got him to go. So we came to an agreement, got him to go. Did all the work finding a buyer, learned a bunch of stuff from that too. So we did like an open house, had a bunch of people coming, and then, didn't think we were going to get it, thought it was going to fall through, but just kept being persistent. And eventually we finally found a buyer that was interested, literally just a dude off Craigslist. So all the people that did the open house, none of them ended up buying that house. They were just dicking around and weren't really serious because I wasn't vetting my buyers. But I finally got a dude off Craigslist, said, hey, he emailed me, said, can you give me this crazy discount? If so, I'm gonna buy this sight unseen right now. And I'm like, I didn't have anything else, so I just negotiated back to them. I said, no, I can't do that price. And eventually got him to come up. And I wasn't making like really anything, so I think I was gonna make 3K off the whole deal. And after all this work, 30, 45 days hustling, I spent like 45 days. And I'm like, fuck, man. But I finally did. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna make 3K. That's cool. I've invested a lot of money in the business already. I bought a deal machine for the whole year and like all this other crazy shit to send the mailers. And I'm like, fuck, man, at least make my money back and it'll be cool. So we're going through the process. I'm learning the whole process. Really don't have any guidance along the way. Just getting punched in the face, making mistakes. And the crazy, we're going through title, and the very last day of title, I didn't know to follow up with title or anything, but they told me. I called them and just, some said, hey, call them, make sure we're good. And they're like, hey, yeah, we're good to close, but does the seller know he has to bring cash to the table? And he was just breaking dead even already. He wasn't making money off it. He was just getting out of it. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, no, he does not know. Like, did you tell them? And they're like, no. I'm like, so no, he doesn't know because I'm just finding out right now. So how would he know? But yeah, so I had to call them. I'm like, fuck, I had to call this dude. So I call him, like, hey, bro, you got to come up with like $5,000, I think it was. Do you got to come up with like, I think it was like $5,000 because I was about to make no, it was $3,000. So you had to come up with $3,000. And I'm like, shit, dude, you got to come up with like $3,000 tomorrow, like if you want to sell. And he's like, fuck, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna come up with $3,000 tomorrow. I'm selling this because I'm in a bad spot. I don't know how I'm gonna come up with this. So I call him. He's like, I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm like, hey man, see what you can do. Let me know. And so he called his people. He called me back, and he's like, hey man, I can't do it. I can come up with a little. I can't get the whole amount. Is there anything you can do on your end? And my wholesale fee's so small, I wouldn't be able to cover it for him. I called the buyer. The buyer's real cool, luckily, and tells, hey, we can either come up, we can split it 50-50 with them. I'll cover half, he'll cover half. Or, what we can do. And then he said we could split it regardless. So it was either me coming up with everything, or the buyer would have to come up with all the money out of pocket. So I wanted to, clip and then start again. And then, clip and start with it on your reel too. But yeah, so what happened, luckily I called the buyer. He was real cool. I told him the situation and said, hey, the seller has to come up with all this money, and he wasn't aware. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to close. Is there anything we can do, man? Is there any way you can come up a little bit and cover his cost? And basically what happened was he offered to split it with me. So we split it. The buyer came up with some money. I had to come up with some money out of my assignment fee, and the seller, he had to come up with a bit of money too. So luckily it worked out in the end. We were able to close. I ended up only making a G. And I'm like, fuck, all that work, only made a G, but really I could have looked at it two ways. I could have looked at it like, hey, it's very frustrating. I did all this work, I didn't make any money, and I could have quit and said, fuck that, man, I invested all this money and I'm still out money. And it was super frustrating at the time, but whatever, I was still happy I got it done. I'm like, hey, I got proof of concept. So believe it or not, a week later, I get a call off one of my mailers, and it's another seller saying, hey, we want to sell. And it was the craziest thing. She calls me and she said, hey, I want to sell. Can you come see my house? Said, okay, great. So I went there, and it was funny because it was a house wasn't even supposed to be on my driving for dollars list. We only put it on there because we bought our primary residence now that we're planning on turning into a rental. And that was one of the houses we tried to get off the MLS, but it was so hard to buy houses at that time. We got beat out by an all cash offer. And it was that lady, she already wanted to sell it just a few months later. So it was wild. I went in the house and like, hey, we were visualizing buying this house. Me and my wife were driving around, and that's why we accidentally put it on the driving for dollars list, because we wanted to see what happened, why we didn't get it. And yes, she responded to my mailer. She wanted to sell, and then she was willing to take an L on it. She said, hey, I just need to sell. I had some life changes, and I just need to get out of it now. Her son moved out, and she just had to get rid of the house. And I said, okay, well, how much do you want? Because I was figuring it wasn't going to be a deal because she just bought it off the MLS. It was worth a bit more now just because the market became so crazy at that time within a few months. It was only like 20, 30K, but she's like, oh, I'm gonna take an L. And like, so it was significantly lower. And I even asked, because my wife's a realtor and I never want to screw anyone over. So I said, hey, if you're sure it's what you want, because we could list this for you. I could give it to my wife to list it. She's an agent. We can help you list it, and you can make a lot more. It'll just take a bit longer. And she said, no, I need cash. I want to sell now. I bought in cash. I only want a cash offer. This is what I want. So, I think I was a little excited because it was my first one. I didn't really play it cool. I'm like, cool, yeah, we can do that. Obviously looking back, I should have been like, oh, I'll see if we can and get back to her. But so she's like, oh, okay, well, I want to see one more. I want to get one more offer. Luckily, she got the other offer. So a week later, she calls me back and she told me she's gonna do it either way. But sellers say shit all the time. But she ended up telling me, hey, I talked to the other guy. And, they're a little bit higher than you, but I just like you better. You seem more genuine. I can tell you wanted to help me. Can we do anything with their price? They're a little bit higher. And I said, okay, yep. So if I can beat their price, are you ready to move forward? She said yes. I said, bet. Send her the agreement. And yeah, I ended up getting it. And that one, I shared the story in another video we'll go over today. But we ended up making, I ended up making personally, and with my business partner too, we both ended up eating off it. And I made 60K off that deal. And it was wild, man. So I got 1K off the first one, super frustrated, and then 60 fucking K off the next one, and like literally not even 2 weeks later. So it was all a span of 60 days that we were able to close on the other one too. So, 2 deals, even though I made 1K on the next one, it made it all good on the next one. So, just keep going. If you're getting frustrated, you haven't got your deal done, just keep going. The deal's right around the corner, because it all just comes down to persistence. If you're willing to do the work, it's gonna pay off. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So just keep doing the work, keep being persistent. It's gonna work out, man, I promise. So, that's the story. I wanted to share it with you guys. Hopefully it, inspires you a bit, knowing, hey, this wholesaling shit's legit. It's real. You can make a lot of money in it. And I'm so grateful for all those lessons I learned doing those first couple deals, because it's paid off dividends. I love wholesaling. I'm passionate about it. So if you guys can do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing these videos every week. So I'd love your feedback. Drop a comment below if you found this valuable. And yeah, let's make this money one day at a time.